Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. Today, we are discussing one of the all-time greats, the caliber 4030 powered 1990s era Rolex Oyster Perpetual Cosmograph Daytona. This is the 16523 in what is known as yellow Rolesor, combination of 904L steel and 18-karat yellow gold. Of course, this is the so-called El Primero generation of the Daytona, and the two-tone version of this is really the only opportunity left to get ahead of the market in Zenith-powered Daytonas. So let me explain. Of course, this generation of Daytona was made from 1988 until 1999. This is an A serial number from 1999. Its clasp features an X serial number from 1999. This is the last and the best of the series. The first automatic Daytona was part of this series. In 1988, we got the first 40mm case. We got the first standard sapphire crystal. We got the first automatic movement. And this watch right here, which represents the evolution of the entire line, its epitome with solid end links, luminova dial, full bracelet, and all of the running changes to the movement and the dial. This is the last of the pre-4130 movements with that legendary Zenith El Primero on the inside. So let's talk about what you get, because I have to remind you that if you were to go and configure this on Rolex's website in the modern era as a 6-digit yellow Rolesor watch, you would be paying more for that then you will pay for this vintage piece certified pre-owned. So this is an opportunity. 40mm in diameter. The watch is svelte. I measured only 12.3mm thick from lug tip to lug tip. It measures 46.6mm. That's just the case. It is a solid end link bracelet, and if you measure end link to end link, then the total distance across the wrist is going to be 50.2mm with a 20mm spacing between the lugs. We'll throw this on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, and frankly, the first automatic winding Daytona, launched in 1988, and this is of that generation, set the mold and pretty much cast the die, which has been frozen ever since, as this design has changed less since the 1980s than any other Rolex model line. It was perfect right out of the gate, which is why this watch looks almost indistinguishable on the wrist from the one you can buy new in 2025. Now, there are some detail changes, but they don't change what's fundamental about this watch. The way it looks, fits, and sits, and on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters circumference, it fits perfectly. I've seen women with wrists as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference wear this watch on the bracelet, and it works. It is flat, flush, and thin, easily sliding underneath a dress cuff. What's nice about these is, though they are considered neo-vintage, they are also still new enough that you can wear them as they were originally intended to be worn. So, for example, the water resistance of this watch that left the factory 100 meters is still reasonably described as the water resistance of the watch as I hold it in my hand. Now, the bracelet we have right here, I mentioned it is an X code in the clasp. Well, X corresponds to 1999, as does the A-based alphanumeric serial of the watch itself. This is a 78393 bracelet, so solid end links, but you can see it also has the period hollow center links, so it's got a little bit of that nostalgic rattle to it. We're going to roll around to the clasp. You can see it has the gold straight through, and then we've got a couple of different anchoring points for the spring bar inside the clasp. So if you want to fine-tune and you don't want to remove the screw-fixed removable links, you can do so by changing the anchoring point of the bracelet inside the clasp. Taking a look at the clasp, you can see all of the marks inside the clasp are extremely distinct. Let me show you that from a different angle, make it a little bit easier to see. You can see the bracelet code as well as the X code. So you have the reference to the bracelet as well as the year it was made. Now, the watch feels substantial in the hand, and that part of that is down to the use of yellow gold here. Of course, the rest is 904L, which is highly resistant to corrosion, more so than 316 steel. We've got a lovely combination of a black lacquered dial with yellow gold accents, solid gold hands, Rolex coronet, and indices. Because this is an A serial number, the transition from tritium to luminova took place in 1998, so this one is all original factory super luminova. Taking a look at the dial, it's got a lovely punchy combination of black and gold, and then you can see that the tachymetric scale is still quite distinct, undiminished by time, with even the original black lacquer still quite evident. Of course, you can use the chronograph along with the tachymetric scale to gauge the speed of an object, such as a race car over a kilometer. After all, the Daytona is often marketed as a motorsports watch, and at the 24 Hours of Daytona in Florida every year in January, it becomes the world's most sought-after motorsports trophy for each winning driver in each class-winning car in IMSA. Also important to note is that because this is certified pre-owned, it is a vintage watch and it is not perfect, which is why you see a small nick in the sapphire and an even smaller one just above it. I want full disclosure so you know what you're getting. This is an older watch. The crystal can be replaced, but the watch has been priced accordingly, and frankly, when it's on your wrist, it's not something that's prominent. I recommend you leave it as it is. You have the big red Daytona script just above the register for the chronograph hours down at the base. Now, you know this is a zenith-based movement. The easiest way to tell is just look where the running seconds display is. It's over at 9 o'clock. 40:30, 9 o'clock. 41:30 or 41:31 or 41:32 down at 6 o'clock. Another feature that you can see that's quite obvious is that if you look at the centers of the running seconds and chronograph minutes, they're exactly in line with the junction of the hands over the center dial. The 41:30 would elevate them slightly above. So underneath the case back, and people always ask, what does the case back look like? Well, it's almost always like this on historic Daytonas. We have the unique caliber 4030. Now, this is often misidentified as just a Zenith El Primero. It's actually a lot more sophisticated than that. Rolex had many changes to make. They changed the beat rate, partially for the sake of longevity, partially so that perhaps more conventional lubricating oils could be used on the escapement. Rolex is very conservative, and although the 5 Hz El Primero has never been problematic, the 4 Hz version in here is even more durable. It has a new winding system. The standard El Primero winding system includes a lot of very fidgety small springs. Rolex used its perpetual bidirectional winding system with Teflon-coated reversing wheels, which is a much more durable and overall long-term robust setup. It just ages better and it performs better in between services. Rolex also changed some things, going for 5-position adjustment and a COSC chronometer certification on the movement. Standard Zenith El Primero chronographs don't have that, but Rolex also converted the balance to a free-sprung architecture using its unique balance with micro-stella adjustment bolts that can be used to change the polar moment or turning force, the balance, so you move those bolts in and out in pairs, and that changes the timing of the watch. It's also more shock resistant than the conventional El Primero mobile stud index. Rolex also uses a handmade overcoil hairspring with a Breguet overcoil in order to take the hairspring, the flat hairspring from the El Primero, and center the mass up more so that it doesn't change its timing. The regulating organ via the overcoil creates isochronous operation or consistent timekeeping in any orientation with respect to gravity. And it even offers a little bit more power reserve as a standard El Primero, featuring the higher beat rate and the calendar system, which this does not have. That would be about 50 hours of power reserve. This is more like 52, 53, 54, so there is a little bit of a benefit in that regard. It does feature 2 of the most important traits of the El Primero, the fact that it is automatic and the fact that it is a very crisp to operate column wheel chronograph. Now, this features a column wheel and a lateral clutch, so if you look carefully, you can see there's a little bit of a jump or stagger when the chronograph seconds hand jumps into action, but the column wheel feel of the Rolex Spec El Primero is worth the price of admission by itself. It does not hack, so it doesn't have stop seconds, but then no traditional El Primero does. It's very durable and accurate movement that gives good service. It's a high-performance engine for one high-performance machine, and this is an extraordinary opportunity with the yellow Rolesor full bracelet end-of-the-line A series to get into the most highly developed and most refined of the Zenith-era El Primeros. If you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase and pricing details of this Zenith El Primero-based Rolex Oyster Perpetual Cosmograph Daytona. Rolex Certified Pre-Owned watches are backed and authenticated by Rolex. Should any reconditioning be necessary, it will be to a Rolex Certified standard, and any parts invested, Rolex Factory Original. Should the initial retail box, paper, and accessory set still accompany the watch, it will be included with the sale. But no matter what, a certified pre-owned box and paper set starts with an outer box, a leatherette travel pouch with suede lining, a warranty card that embodies the 2-year globally valid Rolex-backed warranty. Note this is not a retail warranty, but backed by Rolex and actionable at any of its authorized points of sales and service. A leatherette wallet includes the warranty terms and conditions manual, a holographic hang tag marks this as a certified pre-owned Rolex watch, and a manual details Rolex's values as a company, the certified pre-owned program, care, feeding, service, and use of your Rolex, locations of points of sales and service, and details of Rolex.com. Rolex certified pre-owned watches are backed only by Rolex.